I can remember those cheers. They still ring in my ears. And for years they remain in my thoughts. Because one night I took off my robe, and what did I do? I forgot to wear shorts. I recall every fall, every hook, every jab. It's the worst way a guy can get rid of his flab. But as I'm sure you know, my life was just bad. Oh, ain't no Olivier, if you fought Sugar Ray, you'd say that the thing ain't the ring, it's a play. So give me a stage with this bullock and rage. And though I can fight, I'd much rather recite. That's entertainment. That's entertainment.
Here we are in a neighborhood of mostly senior citizens. Planners design so-called low-cost housing. Look, what do you notice at first glance? What stands out? The brick. The red brick. And what does the color red bring to mind? Red is the color of blood, the color of Indians. It's the color of violence. And the scourge of society, as everybody agrees, is violence. So why the red brick? Because red is also the color of wine, of whining and dining. It's all about palm-greasing dirty politicians and wheeling and dealing.
I wasn't always this high-strung. Believe it or not, I used to be a pretty laid-back guy. To understand how I changed and why I changed, you have to go back to the beginning, when I first met my friend. My friend, Georges. I didn't know George before meeting him that day in the chess club. He instantly struck me as being, well, retarded. I was confident that he had Down syndrome. But when he introduced himself, he said, "Je m'appelle Georges. Je m'appelle Georges. Je m'appelle Georges." And I thought, he must be French. He was eating French fries after all. But then, the absolute unthinkable happened. Georges actually checkmated me. He beat me. The idea that I had been beaten by a person with Down syndrome ravaged my soul. I was breaking apart at the seams. I had to get out of the city before it killed me. I retreated to the mountains for a nice little camping trip with my girlfriend, Ducky.
Doing all the camera work during my climbing adventure. So what do you think of my film so far? Come on, speak up. Your silence is eloquent.
Don't film me, dummy.
My little Ducky.
Okay, you messed up my hair. My hair's gonna be like this.
She makes me sick. This is like the best souvenir I could ever have.
When is the mountain scaled? When do I feel I haven't failed? I've got to get it together.
Did it.
Good work, Jeff.
Nothing to it.
No matter how many mountains I climbed, nothing could erase that feeling of failure. I came back to the city and tracked down Georges from a flyer posted at the chess club. He was living in a halfway house for the mentally disabled. As I walked inside, my knees were trembling and my blood was boiling. But I had to make him my friend.
Know what this is? Look, it's an earthworm going round a bend. Whoa!
We were friends, all right. My plan was in motion. I won George's heart with my foolish antics, and he never suspected my true purpose. It was time to take George on a camping trip. I knew of a secluded glen deep in the mountains where the poison berries grow.
It should be fun.
Finally, I would be free.
George has been begging and begging me to let him come with me on one of my trips. So I finally decided to let him. It's his first time in the woods, and he really doesn't know what he's doing. Right? George! George, are you okay? George! George, what did you eat? What did you eat?
Berries.
George, what did the berries taste like?
They taste like burning.
George! He's gone.
Remember the years. I remember those cheers.
George's death hit me harder than I expected. Whenever the wind blew, I heard it whisper, "Je m'appelle George. Je m'appelle George." Ducky and I decided to hike back into the mountains to lay some flowers at George's final resting place. Little did we know, it would be our final resting place too.
George always wanted to come into the woods with me. I finally let him. And look what happened. Look, a bird. Pigeon, cloaked in gray. One glance and you'll fly away. In the city's hellish maw, your grace holds me in awe. Ducky! Travis wants George.
It doesn't matter where the bullets came from, or who was responsible. Now our bodies lie together in that hidden glen. Travis, Ducky, and George. All dead. All dead. All dead and gone. And if you listen carefully, you can still hear the wind whisper,